Fellas, week 8. I stink at fantasy football right now. I don't know what it is with this league where I always start off like 3-0 and then I just stink for like 5 weeks and then I miss the playoffs. I feel like that's what happens to me. But I might be bad at managing my own team, but I sure as heck am not bad at managing this league. I do my duties and I do them diligently. I apologize. This is getting out to you guys a little late. It's 9:35 and I'm just starting to record. I'm running, like I said, the half marathon. I'm doing a half. Ford is doing the full marathon. So if you didn't know Ford was built different, both in fantasy and in real life, he is built different in both fantasy and real life. So got finished a little late today. Had to do my other league. Had to eat dinner. Had to shower. All that stuff you do as an adult. Safe to say, I apologize. I'm a little late, and I will take accountability for that. But we'll start with our winner of the week, because the winners get to go first. It's a face you're very familiar with at this point. It's his third time being winner of the week. Chris, what's up, man? How did you manage to score 186 points? That is a lot of points.
What up, boys? Getting tired of being featured on this video every week, but after dropping the last 2 weeks to Rory and to Steele, this was as close as it got to a must-win. My team did exactly that. I think if I had started Zay Flowers over Komet, probably would have hit 200. The boys played their hearts out. Hurts, I think, number 1 point scorer this week across the board. K. Dotton, taking advantage of the Bucks injuries and hauling all the targets. So good performance. Illuminati back, I think, number 1 point scorer. So looking forward to a good next week, good second half of the season. This was a must win. I would be scared if you're in my path, because that was absolutely dominated. For those who don't know, did just move to San Diego, so kind of been busy the past 2 weeks driving out here. But if anybody's ever in the area, hit me up. I'm about to go hoop at the local rec center. Nothing like pulling up to a random town, walking onto the court with people who've never played before, and hopefully getting a bucket. So, yeah, Gilliam out.
First of all, Gilliam, congrats on the move. San Diego seems awesome. I went there when I was a kid. It was beautiful. And honestly, it seems very your vibe. So I think that's going to be a good fit for you. If I'm ever in the area, if any of us ever in the area, we'll be sure to hit you up. But yes, 186 points this week. I'll get into the matchups more later, but really, what a showing it was. And now for someone who was horrible at this. Gilliam was top of the league, 186. This person, bottom of the league, 104 points. I did a whole funny thing last week, cut into myself because I was loser of the week last week. I don't have it in me to do it again this week. It was me again. I was the low scorer again. Where did it all go wrong? I don't have a change of clothes to change into, so, I said that the matchup's basically going to come down to if DJ Moore can score a touchdown, and boy, did he not do that. Because I started Caleb Williams too, which honestly, even if I would have started Geno, wouldn't have made a freaking difference. My team's not good enough for my defense to be getting 0 points and for me to win. That's kind of where I'll leave it at. Amon-Ra, the Lions won by 80 points, and he caught the ball like one time. That was a bummer. They didn't even need him. The vibes are not good. I will say my matchup with Najee Nation is a must-win this week. It's a must-win. But the vibes are not good. And I feel like I need to get some new blood in the locker room. But, all right. That's my loser of the week talk. Now we're back into commish mode. Okay. League standings. we got two teams at 6-2 with Gilliam and Chase, and then a 2-game gap, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 4-4, and then we have 2 teams at 3-5, and Rory bringing up the rear at 2-6. So it goes Gilliam, Chase, Ford, Caleb, Steele, Derek, Ben, me, Steele, Rory. Those are the standings. Yeah. Points for I have fallen off greatly after being near the top. Gilliam's in first, ahead of Ford by 4 points, who is ahead of Caleb by 24 points, who's ahead of Chase by 16 points, who's ahead of Sam by 14 points, who's ahead of me by 36 points, who's ahead of Derek by 23 points, who's ahead of Ben by 8 points, who's ahead of Najee Nation by 7 points, who is ahead of Steele by 54 points. And that was all quick maths right there. I'd just like to point that out. But Steele bringing up the rear, not good. I will say Derek has the most points against, 1,139. That's a lot of points. Gilliam has the least, but he has the highest. So, you know what? He deserves to be in first. I'll say it. Let's get into the matchups, shall we? Sam, Ben. Oh, where's my spreadsheet? All right, got that game wrong. Got that game wrong. Got that game right. Got that game wrong. Got that game. All right, I went 2-3. We're back at 500. I'm 20-20 on the year. I don't think any of you guys care about that, but I care about it. So I'm telling you guys anyway. Sam, bench Dak, the MVP clearly. Didn't matter because CD had 39 points. Got a bunch of garbage time touchdowns because the Cowboys are atrocious. Trey McBride looked awesome. He gets Puka back. Made a great play playing him on Thursday night. A lot of people who had him did not play him because they said he was going to be limited. Not Sam. Sam starts his studs. That was a great play by him. He's obviously very happy that Anthony Richardson got benched because Pittman is now going to be relevant. Jaden Reed didn't look good. Kareem Hunt's been a great pickup off waivers. Tony Pollard was fine. Tua was fine. So it really was just CD scored 40. That was the difference between these two teams. On Ben's side of it, Bijan had 23. George Kittle had 24. Rashad had 15. Debo had 12. And then no one else topped 10 points. Chuba was not very good. Devontae stinks. Tyler Lockett was a big-time disappointment with DK missing time. That was very disappointing. And then, 9-4 from his defense and kicker, respectively. He did not play the right quarterback again this week. Joe Burrow was the second highest scoring QB, CJ Stroud with 12, and then Baker with 22. But, I don't think anyone played Baker. I know I have him in another league, and I didn't play him. I played Caleb Williams over him, which I lost in that league, too. So, I actually went 0-3 in all my leagues last week. So, it's always tough to watch football for all day on Sunday and then check your phone and you realize that you lost all of your matchups and you got to wait till next week to play again. Sam, 150, Ben, 122. Both teams are 4-4. Sam's in 5th, Ben's in 7th. That was a big matchup. Okay. Ford and Rory. This was a big matchup too. Rory was 2-5. Ford was 3-4. Rory was top 4 in scoring this week. Couldn't come away with the win. You hate to see it. It came down to Monday Night Football where his Steelers took on the Giants, and Rory had to root against his own team to give up points while also, rooting for them to win. Crazy. It was a very close matchup, really good matchup. Mahomes actually outscored Goff this week. Darnell Mooney was on the bench. Could have played him over Najee, but it wouldn't have made a difference, candidly. I don't know if there's anything he could have done to get the win besides playing a completely different kicker and not on his roster. He scored 147 points. That's normally enough to get you a win. It unfortunately wasn't this week. But the good news is Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like he's back. Najee has been very solid as much as I hate him. J.K. Dobbins has been solid. Evan Ingram's been very solid, and I'm sure will be even more focal piece of the offense with Christian Kirk going down. James Conner was fine. Swift was good. Just very, very honestly solid performance from Rory. Ford just has a little bit more solid performance. Josh Allen with 19. Breece Hall with 9. Joe Mixon's been unbelievable with 23. Waddle disappointed. Lad McConkey was the MVP of this week with 29 points. Ford did get Tyrone Tracy off waivers. I put in a claim for him as well, but Ford got him, which really bummed me out, and they didn't even play him this week. But Steelers defense gets him 13. Kicker gets him 12. That's the matchup right there. Rory's combined for 17. Ford's combined for 25. That's the game. That's the game right there. That's the game we play, the beautiful game. But Ford on a tear, 4-4. He was 1-4. Now he's 4-4. 152. Rory 2-6. Sole possession of last place. 147. That's a tough one for Rory to swallow. That's a tough loss. All right, we got Chase and Steele. Chase, every time I say this team stinks, he shuts me right up. But he does lose Stephon Diggs for the year, and he does not have a lot of depth. He's already down Mike Evans. Maybe he plugs Khalil Shakir. Maybe Keenan Allen, but probably not. Maybe Calvin Ridley. Who's to say? Purdy's on bye this week, so he's rolling with Darnold, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about this last week where Chase scored 156 points and was good for the second highest score. Purdy with 26, Travis Kelce with 25, Ramondre with 23, Bigsby with 10, Brian Robinson a little bit disappointing. Chase could have scored more points. He left points on the bench, but it didn't matter. He got the win. Beat Steele. It's always great hearing that someone beats Steele. But Steele's got to feel good that Olave has looked solid. 18 points. JJ with 19. Tank Dell with 13. We'll probably step into a more clear role now that Diggs and Nico is out. Javonte disappointed a little bit, especially against Carolina. Aaron Jones underperformed as well. 120 points. Could get it done some weeks, but obviously you need a little luck. We have a double flex and the kicker, so scores are a little inflated in our league. Wasn't enough to get it done. Takes 36-point loss to Chase this week. Chase 6-2, second place. Steele 3-5, ninth place. Both Jareds are 3-5, so that's pretty funny. But all right, Derek Gilliam beat the brakes off Derek, 186-131. It was a 55-point win, and Derek scored 131 points, which is pretty crazy. We'll do Derek's side first. Josh Jacobs was good. Garrett Wilson was solid. BTJ was solid. Malik Neighbors was solid. Amari disappointed a lot. He definitely missed having DKN, but it wouldn't have mattered, candidly. He had 186 points hung on his head. Kyler has been decent from a fantasy perspective. Lions defense with 13 was a good play, too. So, Gilliam, 186 points. That's a lot of points. He had one guy over 30 with Jalen Hurts, Kyron over 20, James Cook over 20, Jamar over 20, Devonta over 20, Cade Otton, I'm thinking he was off the waivers. He was up. Cade Otton off the waivers, 29 points, JSM with 12. He started a double tight end, which was a crazy thing that he started Cole Kmet over Zay Flowers. Didn't matter. It was the wrong decision, but didn't matter. He could have had even more points than he did. Crazy. 186 points. That's a lot of points. I think that's the highest score we've had so far this year. But Gilliam shuts up the haters, saying that it's an undeserved record. I would never say that. Again, I would never say that. But 186 points to 131. He's in first place still after dropping 2 in a row. Derek, 131, 4-4, sixth place. All right, me and Caleb, we were both 3-4. Caleb gets a deserved win. 137 points is enough to get it done most weeks. I still think he was still bottom 5 in scoring this week, but except for me, it was a pretty high scoring high scoring week across the league. We'll do Caleb first. Jameer with 20, Scary Terry 17, Cooper Kupp 16. Oh yeah, we did the trade earlier this week. It actually, I ended up. JT outscored Cooper Kupp by 2 points. That's what happened. It didn't matter. Trade was irrelevant. I would have lost by more points than I already did. But I think both of us are happy with the trade. Although now Caleb was going to start Josh Downs, who did outscore Cooper Kupp, and he was also going to start JT over Nick Chubb. So had we not made the trade, Caleb would have actually scored way more points than he did. He also left Jaden Daniels on the bench because we didn't really know if he was playing. So Caleb, he did beat me by 33. He could have scored even more points. Ravens defense was 0. Vikings defense was 0. Love to see the defenses cancel each other out. It's very funny. Caleb seems good. His running backs are looking very dangerous with A-Kane, Kenneth Walker, and Jahmyr Gibbs. That's probably why he felt comfortable giving away JT to get a receiver back. Obviously, my team just isn't performing right now. They suck, candidly. Caleb, I sent his ass to the waivers in 2 leagues. He's a bummer. He's bummed me out. And DJ Moore, so boom and bust too. But you got to start him. You got to start your studs. And he's a stud. So hopefully he gets back on track against the Cardinals this week. But disappointing week for me. I've lost my 3rd straight game. I drop all the way down to 8th place. Caleb gets a win. Needed win. 4-4 in fourth place. That's where we're at. That is where we're at. Okay. All right, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to stop recording really quick, just in case I corrupt this file again, and then we'll get into the predictions. What a smart move. Let's get into the predictions. Sorry, I was catching up. I have my phone on DND when I'm recording. Apparently the Yankees are choking. I think most of you guys know I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I love when the Yankees lose because I hate New York sports. But I hate the Sixers more than I hate any other team for some reason. I just think Joel Embiid is just a huge wimp. I hate that guy. Anyway, enough about teams that I hate. Let's talk some fantasy football. That's why you guys are watching. All right, so we got every matchup here this week has played each other except for Caleb and Sam, who I'm going to start off with. So everyone here has already played each other. I don't make the schedule. ESPN makes it for me. But thank God they gave me Najee Nation this week because I need a win. All right, let's do Caleb and Sam first. Man, this is a high projected scoring matchup. 148-145. That's really high on both sides. Let me refresh the page real quick. So 148-145. Caleb is the highest projected scorer this week. He's a 3-point favorite going into this matchup against Sam. Yeah, his team's looking very solid. He does have Chubb in right now. I'm very curious if he's going to plug Josh Downs in now that Anthony Richardson has been sent to the Shadow Realm. Pitts has obviously been great the second half of this season. He does get Kupp from me, who will probably have a great game against Seattle. Jaden and Scary Terry are going to eat against the Giants this week for sure. Jahmyr Gibbs has been very solid, the running back, 6 on the year. Kenneth Walker probably going to have a great week against the Rams. His run defense is not very good. And then you got Chubb and Akane rounding out the flexes. So I like Caleb's team a lot. I think he's very primed, I want to say, to make a run towards the second half of this year. I remember last year, I think he was like the highest scorer by far in the league, and then, just choked at the end, got unlucky with the matchups, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. But Sam, also 4-4, also projected for a lot of points. He gets Puka back, which is crazy. He's 4-4 and was without Puka for most of the season. That's very scary. It's looking like he hit on all of his receivers, candidly, that I'm looking at. CD, Drake London, Puka, and Jaden Reed all look like hits. His running backs stink. I don't know what happened with his running backs. Tony Pollard and Kareem Hunt. Trey McBride is great. Dak is getting back in over Tua. I guess my comments got to him. Dak back on the table for MVP, maybe. Who's to say? He's going with the Eagles defense against Jacksonville. Caleb rocking with the Ravens against Denver. That feels like a trap, but he's 4-4 and I'm 3-5. Who don't listen to me, Caleb. I still love that Sam's rostering 2 kickers. I don't know why he's doing that, but it's very funny. Maybe he plugs in Pittman over Jaden Reed. So in my other video, I was saying that if Jordan Love is out, I feel like you can't really start any Packers receivers this week. That's my opinion, at least. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I have a trade on the table that I'm not sure if I'm going to take, and I keep flip-flopping back and forth. And then the manager that I've been stringing along about my decisions, I apologize. I literally was about to text you and say, you know what, we'll do it. We'll look at the practice report tomorrow, and we'll go from there. How about that? Sorry to interrupt myself right there. Sam, yes, very funny manager, very funny guy, very good manager. But not good enough to take down Caleb this week. Not good enough to take down Caleb. Caleb, I'm foreseeing a heater on the way. Gonna take this one. All right. Gilliam and Ben, they did play each other week 1. Gilliam won 127-93. Are they okay, I've never seen that before. So if you look on the scoreboard, it'll show like the positional comparison. And their defenses are projected for the exact same, which I don't think I've ever seen before, which is very interesting. But Gilliam is a 17-point favorite coming into this, which makes sense because his team's been on fire. And I know that Ben is hurt by the 49ers bye week a lot. He's without Debo and he's without Kittle. Baker on the bench still, which makes sense. He's got Kansas City this week. Joe Burrow finding the start. CJ Stroud has basically become unrosterable. He was dropped in my other league, which is crazy to say. But yeah, Gilliam, Jalen, Kyron, James Cook, Jamar, Devonta, Kate Otten, Zay Flowers in the lineup, JSN in the lineup. So he's rostering 3 tight ends. Komet finds his way to the bench. I think the lineup he has in is probably the one he's going to end up rocking with. Makes sense to me. Commanders' defense is a great play this week against the Giants, who've looked really bad. And candidly, the Commanders' defense has looked pretty good the past couple weeks. But Ben, projected for 129. Joe Burrow should hopefully have a good week this week. It's tough if T misses time, especially for Ben because he has T. Higgins, so he really wants him to play, obviously. Bijan, Chuba losing some steam. Maybe Jonathan Brooks gets his first start this week. That'd be unfortunate for Ben to lose Chuba from a fantasy perspective. Devontae stinks, dude. He's washed, and everything about the Jets is atrocious, and they are a horrible franchise, and they stink. Tyler Lockett, I guess you're playing him if... I don't know if DK is missing time. I guess you play him. Really disappointing week last week. Maybe he plugs in Xavier Worthy instead of him. Rashad White, I feel like with the rest of his team, makes sense to have him in the lineup. I do think that Gilliam gets the sweep on Ben this season. I do think he does beat him here. I'm seeing a tough path to victory for Ben in this matchup, unfortunately. Okay. Derek and Steele. They did play already, like I said. Everyone's played already except for Sam and Caleb. Derek got the win the first time, 136 to 110. That was in week 5. The biggest thing about Derek this week especially is going to come down to his injuries. And he doesn't have a kicker because his kicker's on IR. I'm actually going to text him. Your kicker is on IR, by the way. Pick a new one. I just got to your matchup. So... that's what I do for my son. Gotta help him out because I feel like he candidly doesn't know that he needs to set his lineup every day. Kyler Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, Dalton Schultz. Yeah, he does need a tight end. DK, Malik Neighbors, and then Greg the Leg. Greg's been awful. So even though Steele right now is about a 10-point favorite, it'll likely be about a 1 or 2 point favorite when Derek picks up a new kicker. Steele. Olave has looked good. Maybe he gets Carr back this week, which honestly, I don't know what that does for his value. Laporta finally has a good game. JJ. Tank Dell is probably in for a big week. Javante's not looked great. Did not look great the last week. He has looked great at other times of the season. Lamar, obviously, you start him even against Denver. And then Aaron Jones against Indianapolis' defense, who's horrible. Indianapolis' defense is really bad. This is tough because Derek has a bunch of questionable guys right now that I'm not sure if they're going to play. I think Josh Jacobs will play. Amari will play. I don't know if DK is going to play. That's going to be a big factor. We'll go with Derek. Because I don't want Steele to win because we have the same record. Okay, Chase and Ford. So they did play each other week 1, which I'm sure you all remember, which was 165.62 to 165.18 in favor of Chase. That was the craziest game we've had so far this year. Ford. Pickett's on bye. That's a bummer. Pat Freiermuth on bye. I don't think he was starting him over Njoku anyway. But Mixon's looked awesome. Breece Hall's been decent. Josh Allen, obviously, has been very solid. Lad McConkey, what a guy. Keon Coleman getting the start. Madison, the official starting running back. And then Tyron Tracy. Okay, so Tyron Tracy looked awesome. Clearly the running back one for the Giants. Looks like he got concussed at the end of the game last week, which is a bummer, especially because the Commanders' run defense is not that good. So he's projected for 0 points. Chase right now is a 12-point favorite. If he plugs in Jalen Waddle, Ford is like a 1-point favorite. So I'm saying this game's even line. Chase. Khalil Shakir's been decent actually. He's been decent. I'm pretty sure I drafted him and dropped him. Yes, I drafted him, I dropped him, Chase added him, Chase dropped him, and then Chase picked him back up 2 days later, which is funny. I just think Ford's team looks so much better on paper. And I mean that with no disrespect to my good friend in New York. But like Calvin Ridley, you can't trust Calvin Ridley. Ramondre, how can you trust Ramondre? I just don't see it. I don't see the vision. I don't see the vision. I got my hater glasses on. And I can't see past them, Chase. I think you all know I just wrote down Ford's name right there. Okay. Me and Rory, we did play each other in week 5. I won by a score of 146 to 138. This is a must-win for both of us. I just saw Rory yesterday. While I could definitely use 1,000 threes to work on my three-point shooting, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to rebound for Rory, because we did say we would rebound for each other. And I don't want to find gym space. But I'd rather he shoot him than I shoot him. I'll be honest with you. I'll keep it a buck with the league right there. So this is a must-win for both of us. If I can get a win here, I will be 2 games up on Rory with, what is it, like 4-5 weeks left of the regular season. There's no way. Is that it? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 5-ish. I don't know. Someone fact check me in the chat. I'll be 2 games up with 5 weeks left in the regular season. I got Kirk off the waivers. Thank you, Rory, for dropping him a couple weeks ago. I needed to get Caleb Williams out of the clubhouse, who's bringing the vibes down for everyone. Kamara, I really, really, really need him to have a good game against Carolina. Montgomery and Amon-Ra, they've been so solid this year. DJ Moore has been very, very hit or miss. He's been very hit or miss. Brock Bowers, love that guy. Cedric Tillman, got him off the waivers, probably going to plug him in. And then JT, obviously get him. Unfortunate that I'm starting him against the Vikings defense. I have not enjoyed. I hate having those types of conflicts, but it is what it is. Najee Nation, obviously Najee Nation, the namesake is on bye this week. The Steelers are on bye. 49ers are also on bye. Streaming the Bengals defense. Goff, Swift, Goff. You gotta start Goff against me, dog. With my Amon-Ra. That's messed up. Why don't you know what? Mahomes is projected for more, so you could start him. Is all that I'm saying. Swift, Connor, AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, Evan Ingram, Darnell Mooney, J.K. Dobbins. So honestly, I don't think Rory's team is a 2-6 team. I'll say it. He is 2-6, but that doesn't look like a 2-6 team to me on paper, especially with Nico Collins on the IR. He hasn't had a healthy team. I need the win this week, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me. Rory has snuck in the playoffs at 6 wins before. I think he won the league with 6 wins before. He's the type of guy that gets things done. But I need the win this week because I don't want to get last place, and I'm really worried I'm going to get last place. So I'm writing my name down to manifest a victory because that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I have. That's what I have for you guys. My group chats are blowing up. I am assuming that something happened with the Yankees. Why do I have 50 texts? Okay. All right. That's not a you guys problem. That's a me problem. But enjoy watching. Again, I apologize. It's a little later than normal. And I appreciate those for tuning in. Love you guys.